one of the things that's really important for us as we do this work is to honor the experts. And so we're going to start our conversation with the most important person in this room, and it's our student scholar who's going to demonstrate how brilliant all of our babies are. And so please join me in giving a warm round of applause to Rafiq Abdullah, who's going to speak from a student's perspective. We told them that this is really important. We said no pressure, right? But too often adults come together to have conversations about babies and reflect upon what it was like when we were in his seat, right? And so we think it important for us to anchor all of our conversation and discussion this morning based on the reflections of one of our young people. So give him another round of applause. Tell them your name and where you go to school.
My name is Rafiq Abdullah, and I attend 9th grade academy.
And what are you studying?
I'm studying PSI physics.
And so we're here because often when we talk to kids like yourself who are young, gifted, and black, even though sometimes the world doesn't want to acknowledge it, they very rarely have opportunities to say, as you've said in the 9th grade, that I'm studying physics. So can you talk to us a little bit about your path towards studying physics and why it is that you're here today?
Well, I'm very strong in math, so when I saw that I had the opportunity to take PSI physics, I thought, like, why not? So my first day in class, I'm like kind of hesitant about taking a class, but it was challenging. I liked facing challenges, so I decided just to take the class. And I had an excellent teacher, Ms. Benegal, and she walked me through everything. Like, if I was struggling, she'll take her time out to like help me. Like, I would come after school, but if I was struggling, but I kind of got the hang of things, and like physics, it just became easy to me.
I'm glad you guys laughed, because every time today the young people have said, oh, this is easy. It's been like an awesome thing. Let's talk, I have two more questions that I want to ask Becky to jump in as well. You talked already about Ms. Benegal. Can you say a little bit more about what makes her a good teacher, what types of things she did in order to support you and your peers?
Ms. Benegal, every day we had to come in and do a do now. So it's like she basically graded the do nows like highly. So like you had to do it, and if you didn't do it, you were like get a bad grade. So I came in every day, and I really wasn't focused. I'll be on my phone first day in class, and she'll take it. I'm like, okay, now I have to do my do now. So when I'm struggling, she'll be like, Rafiq, come here, and like I'll go to her desk, and she'll talk to me, and personally, like, and it made me feel like I was wanted actually. So now I sit down. Well, I had it last semester, but it made me feel like I can do it. So I did it, and I got it done.
I hope you captured it on camera and that you guys in the back could see that when I asked him to think about his teacher before he said her name, he smiled. And I think often, especially again as Teacher Appreciation Week, we rarely acknowledge that educators literally do God's work, but the feeling that literally washed over him when he thought about her is something that all of our babies deserve. So thank you for sharing that. My last question for you is, what's the best part about being young, gifted, and black?
Like the fact that since when I walk into a room, people probably look at me like, oh, he's nothing. But I like proving people wrong. Like, I like showing people there's another side of me. Like, yeah. Like.
So can I, just a small footnote, I don't want to detract from Rafiq's statement at all, but the First Lady has spent a lot of time in the last couple of years through her Reach Higher initiative talking about the importance of resilience and grit, right? It's something that we've now have come to celebrate, right? Paul Tuff wrote a book about it. It's something that we sort of expect for kids, particularly those who are often under supported and under-resourced to have. And I just want to caution us while we celebrate our babies who show up and show out in spite of the significant barriers that they face, that there's an extreme cost, physically, emotionally, psychologically, that comes with having to prove the world wrong. And so again, in a space in which we're celebrating the fact that we're providing our babies with literal tools that they need to hack themselves out of the problems that exist around them, we need to be able to support them in dealing with the trauma that requires one to be resilient and to, again, prove the world wrong. So we can continue and need to celebrate our babies, but we also need to be there to support them, acknowledging the trauma that exists and the obstacles that we are invariably asking them to overcome, whether they're invisible to others or not. So keep proving people wrong, brother. We're gonna cover you.
So, Rafiq, I have just a couple of questions. Can you talk to us a little bit about what makes the PSI and PMI different than how you studied math or science before?
Well, I didn't really look at physics as science. I looked at it as math. Like, all the equations, they were very long. Like, and you had to memorize them on the test. So I looked at it more as like a math tool, business that was algebra based, and I was like very good at algebra. So I really didn't look at it as science.
Bob and Joyce, is your work done? I couldn't. He couldn't have articulated that better, right? So when we talked with a couple of students at Trenton Central this morning, and one of the questions that was asked, I'd like for you to answer too. We hear a lot about peer pressure, and what we asked them, and I'd like for you to respond to, as you are even more and more successful in high-level science and math courses, do you feel that peer pressure that you're the smart one, or do you feel that there are people who are not supportive of your efforts to excel?
If there's somebody around me that's putting me down, I usually don't hang around them. It's like I like being influenced by positive people. So the group of people I hang with, we all excel the same way. So.
One last thing. What would you? And I don't know if you can answer this question right now, but hopefully you can. You've been sitting in the audience, and we've been talking about the fact that we want all students to have the opportunity that you're having here at Trenton Central. So talk to us, if you can, a little bit about the additional supports you think are needed in your school or in other public schools throughout New Jersey, or throughout the country for that matter.
I think like a teacher that you know that's always there for you, I think that's like the best support system throughout the school. Like someone you could just go to, like not even at home, like say you're having a bad day in school, you could just go to one teacher and like he or she is always there for you. And like they make you feel like you're wanted, yeah.
I hope my team, my family, I'm looking at Dom and Marcus and Janae to see if somebody would tweeted that last statement. That was particularly beautiful, that a teacher who you know is always there for you is the best support system. And again, I just want to honor that it's often our babies who are the experts about their own experience who are best positioned to speak about the things that matter most. So my last question to you is twofold. One, will you talk to us about your dreams? What are you thinking about in terms of the future? And then if you have a message for our President and First Lady and Secretary of Education, Arnie Duncan, what would it be?
When I get older, I want to be an accountant or a lawyer. I don't want to.
Look at me looking at you. You want to make money? You want to drive a nice car?
Yes.
Like what? Like a Mercedes?
Yes.
You should be an educator. I drive a Mercedes. Let's talk. No, I'm sorry, finish, go ahead.
And something to say to the President and First Lady. I would just say keep doing what they're doing, because the education system has really been coming up lately, because I pay attention.
Get this young man a round of applause for being brilliant.